Jesse, Pete, can you guys hear me
Hello.
okay?
Hello.
All
Yes.
right, I apologize. My internet has gone down a couple times today at the office, and I am on my phone, so don't know how much control I'm going to have over this meeting here. Jesse, are you on?
I'm on. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, let's see if I can get the right view here.
Should we be wearing a mask right now?
Yes. All right, let's see. All right, well, I can see you, Jesse. You can see me?
Yeah.
Am I up on the screen like as one of the hosts or no?
You are, yeah. On my screen,
Okay.
you're up.
Awesome. All right. So how many, let's see how many people we have.
We
I'm
got
going to be asking you
Jim,
questions.
Jim, Pete, me, Pushkar, and your lovely self.
All right. Let me know if anybody else joins. We'll give it another minute here. We're 2 minutes after. All right. We'll just start. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Can you hear me okay? Got it. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Awesome, guys. So first of all, let's just start out. I wanted to thank everybody for being here. And does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, anything they're struggling with or would like any help with that we could help you with today?
I have one.
Sure. Go right ahead, Jim.
Okay. I just got off a 30-minute pitch from a company called Park Bench. And I'd be interested to know if anybody have used Park Bench to expand their horizons, getting leads. Is it worth it? Can you do it on your own? Just any kind of input at all. It's pretty pricey,
Yeah.
in my mind, and can't say that I was blown away with it. But I would love a second or third opinion if you guys have used it.
I have not. That might be a better question for Better Call Saul. I think he does the Park Bench advertising for his law firm business. But no, I'm just kidding. My short answer is I would not waste money on anything like that. You know, you have to decide where you're going to spend your time and money if you're going to do any marketing for business. And you know, that's the only time I would ever do a Park Bench or anything like that. I know some agents do, you know, they do a cart at a grocery store, they put their name and picture and information on there. They do billboards. All of those are fine if you are really just focused on a certain area, which Jim, I know that you're mainly focused on trying to get business in Lamont, in the surrounding areas. But if you're really you got to make a decision. Are you going to jump in with both feet and do a lot of marketing to get your name out there in the area, and be consistent with it? Because it's going to take time. Something like that, you're not going to reap any benefits from that without spending a lot of time and money. It's going to take 6 months before you get any deals out of that. If you do, and you're going to have to do it, you're going to have to be in it for the long haul. So
yeah.
I've never done anything like that.
Which applies to anything. Like when I first got in this business and started coaching with Mike Ferry, there was like this inward struggle of like, oh, I have to only cold call expireds and FSBOs. Like this very small, narrow mind. Like I only can do that. And I was like, had this inward struggle. And I'm like, well, what about all the online stuff? You know, I'm in Silicon Valley. So I'm like, what about this other stuff? And the reality is whatever you do it consistently and do it aggressively and it will work. So like, that's exactly what Steve's saying. Like you got to be in it for the long term. Just go after whatever you're going to go and go all in. No matter what it is. If it's going to be, you're going to pay for ads and you're going to also cold call and do any of it consistently and it will reap benefits. Bottom line.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jim, I know you already know this, but be careful with getting getting caught up in all the shiny object syndrome. There's going to be so many people that call you to try to pitch their products and their marketing. It's a big waste of time. It's one of those traps that a lot of agents fall into. You know, that's why we suggest writing a business plan and sticking to it. And I can only tell you from my experience, guys, I know there's agents in the area that do hundreds of deals. There's so many different ways of doing it. I just know what worked for me and what works for me. And that was setting up a consistent prospecting schedule Monday through Friday, calling in order, expireds, canceled, for sale by owner, lead follow-up, past clients, and just listed, just sold. And if you do that consistently, 5 days a week, 240 days out of the year, and that's taken a lot of time off, 240 days, and you do 10 to 15 or 10 to 20 or 15 to 20 contacts a day, you're going to make well over $100,000 a year selling real estate. And most of it's going to be listings. So you're not running around working with buyers on their time schedule. But let's just, Jim, any other questions, concerns, comments, or anything else you need help with?
No, I was hooked on week one by just picking up the phone and calling people. So that's been the best
Absolutely
way to get things moving in a positive direction. So, you know, I'm not going to do it. I suspected we would say something like this, but I actually called them because I saw their ads popping up on my emails and stuff. So they got a hold of me somehow. So anyway, I appreciate that. It just validated what I was thinking anyway. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay. Who else is on the call? Pete
and Rick.
No, I'm good. Actually,
what do you got, baby? Talk to me.
I'm just still trying to navigate the whole EXP experience in terms of paperwork, I guess, trying to get that submitted. The whole lack of not being, it seems like there's not a lot of talking. There's a lot of computer messaging and that, and no talking over the phone, it seems like. I have a little bit of a hard time dealing with that because sometimes you need to talk to people on the phone.
Okay.
Am I missing something?
Here's what I think, Pete. I think that I understand where you're coming from. And I think that you're focusing on that because you're upset about it. I get it, man. I get it. You're focused on that, and it's not really that big of a deal. So you can reach out. You guys have the luxury, quite frankly, of reaching out to me for anything. And I can tell you that a lot of sponsors at EXP do not have experience like I do, nor do they allow themselves to be approachable like I do. Even though I can seem like I'm a real asshole and hard to talk to, just do it anyway. But I've tried. Listen, man, I'm old school, Pete. You know I am. You saw me on the phones at Remax for many years. Shut my door. Don't talk to me. I'm on the phone making my calls. I'm on the phone. I'm not doing any computer shit. I'm not. I put stuff in the fax machine or scanner or whatever. I had to adapt to kind of the way things are nowadays. And I made a conscious choice when I joined EXP. Hey, I'm going to get on Facebook. I'm going to, start doing some of this stuff a little bit more related to technology because that's the way things are going. And what I've noticed is once you get in the hang of using a couple of these platforms like workplace chat, even email, you can do everything over email with a lot of our coordinators, and they'll get right back to you typically. Now, I'm not saying that it's seamless or perfect, but I've probably done, I don't know, 60, 70 deals I've been at EXP in the last year and a half or so. And I've only been on workplace 5 times, or I'm sorry, I've only been in EXP world probably 10 times total. And that was never to do with anything really with a transaction. It was all like, changing my bank account information or meeting somebody in Canada, like the Canadian, just stuff like that I couldn't do, that I didn't want to do over the phone or whatever. And the majority of the questions that I have, I just go right to Helen, and she'll either get back to me right away, or she'll direct me in the right direction of who to talk to. What I would suggest for you, if you're having, and here's part of the issue too. I've always, part of the luxury I've always had is I have an admin that does all the paperwork stuff for me, and that saves a lot of time and headaches. So that's probably a big part of it. Now, one thing that EXP does offer, Jesse uses a transaction coordinator through EXP.
Through SkySlope, yeah.
Through SkySlope.
Yeah, and
so
it's all in SkySlope what you do as far as paperwork goes. So I pay them $250 a transaction or something like that, and they're trained to work with EXP agents because EXP has an enterprise level relationship with them. So I would leverage that. It's worth the $250 and almost as good as having an assistant,
Do they interact with the client at all, or is it just they just get the paperwork done?
They get all the paperwork signed. They'll send off for signatures and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't ever ask my client for a signature because they do it all.
Oh, how do I sign up for that?
Call SkySlope and tell them I'm with EXP, and they have transaction coordinators that are trained specifically for EXP.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
So you can call and talk to them on the phone.
Well, where's the phone number? There's no phone number.
Well, Google SkySlope customer service.
Yeah, if you want me to get you the phone number, I can get you the phone number for SkySlope.
That's all right. I'm just kidding. I'll find it.
That will probably eliminate 80% of your headaches. I get it, man. That's something that I don't like to deal with either. And, when you're going through a transaction, you want to get an answer right away. And it's the only way to do that here at EXP is, first method is to reach out to the managing broker. I try not to bother her very much just because I want things to run really smoothly here in Illinois, and I can figure it out on my own, but you guys feel free to reach out to her. I mean, she has assistants and everything else that are doing a lot of the stuff, and she'll just send you to the right person. At the worst case scenario, she'll send you the right person to talk to get your question answered immediately. But yeah, I hear you, man. But I would let me know how that works out with the transaction coordinator, because I didn't really know we had that either until Jesse told me he was using them. They have a lot more things to do in California as far as the transaction goes than we do.
Right.
Hold on one second here.
I believe Brent Gove's has a team of people that will help anytime as well. We have a lot of different avenues. Like if you wanted to call Brent Gove's office, they have people there that will help too.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we have that's actually what I do like is we have so many different avenues. You can jump on Facebook, you can shoot an email, you can text, you can get in the world, you can call Steve, you call me, you got options.
Cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me know how that works with the transaction coordinator, because as I was saying, there's a lot more to do with the title work and everything. Because they don't use an attorney in California, and we do. My attorneys, typically does 70% of the transaction once it gets under contract, and that's stuff that they have to do in California. So their transaction coordinators are well worth the $250. But if it's just for paperwork, it still is probably worth it here. If that takes 2 hours of your time, you're worth more than $250 if you're interacting with clients. Lead generating as opposed to dealing with paperwork, for sure.
Absolutely.
And that's,
all right.
Yeah. All right. So, any other questions or concerns? Rick, what are you up to, man?
Doing all this legwork that you don't like to do too.
Tell me about it.
Well, getting used to using SkySlope as you were just saying, and I'm looking to get a transactional coordinator myself because it's taking my time away from making the phone calls and doing the other things that I should be doing. But I know it's just a transition period, and I'm looking forward to getting past this part.
All it took was me one transaction getting delayed on getting paid to realize I'm going to pay the transaction coordinator.
Well, I used to have a VA that would handle most of this stuff for me too, but that was before I was an agent. So I gotta figure out what the process is, and then maybe well, hopefully your way will work, Jesse, because I don't want to train them. That's a pain in the butt to train them to do that too, and it takes a while. But after 2-3 months, if they don't get it, then it's time to move on to another one. So yeah, I don't want to have to go through that part again.
They also did like an orientation call. They assigned me somebody, and she was great. I mean, I'm like, so do I need to explain anything about EXP? She's all, nope. We have meetings every single week to be on top of what the state requirements are. Like, she knew more than I do, basically. So
SkySlope's gonna just charge us the $250 in the transaction, or how does that work? Or are we gonna have to hire them? Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it goes straight through escrow and everything. So
wonderful.
And I charge that to the client. So in my listing or buyer agreement, I put buyer or seller to pay, SkySlope a admin or transaction coordination fee of $300 or whatever it is for your state.
Well, Steve, we could just put that in the way we have that fee at the for the buyer to pay for that too, right? Steve?
He froze, I think, but I'm sure you probably can put
Yeah,
that.
there's
agreement
that they add now for closings, which is weird.
Broker instructions, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it, Jesse.
Steve, I think you're still frozen probably. So any other questions? If not, I'm going to just go through here and talk about real quick all of the scripts that we have access to and objection handlers. I see you joined again, Steve, but you're muted.
All right, sorry about that.
Cool. So I don't know if you heard what we discussed, but yeah, we're again directing everybody, call SkySlope, get an interview with a transaction coordinator and save yourself some headache and get paid faster and make EXP run smoother and your life.
Yeah, and for anybody that doesn't know, this is a place to share information and best practices. I always put on the MLS for the cooperating broker, 2.5% minus $325, which that can more than cover the cost of a transaction coordinator, and nobody's going to bat an eye at that. That's pretty common. You can also add a fee to your listing agreement, and 9 times out of 10 the client's not going to say anything if you put a $250 transaction fee in there. If they ask what it is, say, well, number one, I have a transaction coordinator that double checks all the paperwork, and then we store the paperwork basically for the next 10 years. So if you need access, it covers a lot of the minutia basically, and they won't have a problem with it.
You tell them it makes everything run smoother, they're going to be like, okay, I want that.
Yeah. So what do you got there, Jesse? Scripts?
Yeah. So first of all, if you don't know how to access these scripts, go to extremeagentsvip.com and you scroll down to the bottom right here. It says active member login. There's a gray button. So go to extremeagentsvip.com, go to active member login. If you don't have a login, it's going to ask you to create one. I already have one, so it logged me in already. And then over here, we have resources. I do need to add the YouTube playlist of the call recordings we have. We have, probably, 25 calls, 20, 30 calls that we have that are previous calls and some tech training. But the scripts and the different tools we have for running your business are in here, like a prospecting tracker, book business plans, mindset resources. But there's a lot of scripts that we use to run our business, whether we're talking to a buyer, a seller, our database, pre-qualifying for an appointment, handling objections. There's different scripts in here. So you guys have access to these. You just click the button and it should open up whatever script it is. And these are scripts that Steve and I have used, that our mentors have used. So they work and they're very good. So I'm going to go back. So everybody has leads, right? Everybody's got some leads somewhere in their database. I would start with right now, making sure you guys are utilizing the lead follow-up script. Okay. So go in here, and I think this is probably titled, it's titled wrong, but this is a lead follow-up questions and lead follow-up script. Very simple. Hi, this is your name with eXp Realty. We spoke, and you were talking about moving to Florida in the next month or two. I wanted to touch base. Are you still on track with that time frame? Great. And you still want to buy and you want to sell whoever you're talking to. Great. I was wondering, what questions do you have? Do you have any information that you need that I can get for you? You know, obviously you're providing value to them. No. Okay, great. And let's get together and go to the next step. So a very simple, straightforward follow-up script that you can use, as well as some questions to kind of close them for an appointment if you're getting stuck on that. So these are questions to ask them. Hey, how would you rate your motivation to move to Florida on a scale of 1 to 10? It's a great question to ask anybody you're talking to. Because everything we do is based on motivation, right? So I would download this script. I would start using this to call everybody that has wanted to make a decision in the last, 5-6 months since there's been coronavirus. Motivation changes on a daily basis. Steve, are you
Jesse,
muted?
can you hear me right now?
Oh, yeah. Okay, go for it.
All right, yeah, I turned off the internet because it keeps going in and out. So, yeah, guys, I'm sure everybody here wants to add a couple deals to their business over the next 30 days. And I'll give you guys a guaranteed formula to get at least 1, if not 2 or 3 more deals in the pipeline in the next 2 weeks. If you follow this formula, I can virtually guarantee you that that's going to happen. So what would I do if I wanted to get a couple more deals? I would follow up with every possible lead that I have. And where I would start is the hottest ones first. So I'm sure everybody has buyer or seller leads they've talked to in the last 6 to 12 months. And I know for a fact a lot of them have had things put on hold because of this coronavirus. So I would just go through that list and call every one of them. And I would ask them this: Hey, Jesse, this is Steve with eXp Realty. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How's it going?
Oh man, I'm doing great. I'm staying safe, and I'm just so excited to get back outside every once in a while now and enjoy some of this weather.
You tell me about it.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know that we had talked a couple months ago, and you were looking at some properties online. I wanted to see how that was going, and if I could answer any questions for you about any of those properties.
Oh yeah, I actually been getting the alerts, and my wife and I, when we're getting ready to go to bed, we start flipping through and looking at houses, and so yeah, I mean I think we're ready. We probably got to get pre-approved, and we're not. That's kind of where we're at.
Okay, so you guys are moving to Florida, correct?
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna get out of this crazy. Yeah.
Okay, you're moving to Florida, and you have a house to sell over on Main Street, right?
Yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Okay, great. Now you said that you have not talked to a lender yet, as far as pre-approval?
No, yeah, we don't have official pre-approval, but we looked at all the stuff online, and it says kind of what we could buy based on our income. Okay,
so you're not going to have any issue with the pre-approval. It sounds like is that right?
Yeah, I think we're good. Our credit's pretty good, so yeah, I think we could go forward.
Have you been keeping up to date on what's going on in the market right now, Jesse? In our market?
No, other than looking at houses. No, I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
Yeah, right. Well, right now, there's a real lack of supply of homes for sale, and we are seeing homes get multiple offers. I can't stress enough how important I feel it would be for you guys to get your property on the market right away. We haven't seen this good of a market in quite some time, and we really don't know how long it's going to last. So are you available today, this afternoon at 5 o'clock, or would tomorrow at 2 be better for you and your wife to meet?
Yeah, we could, yeah, I don't think we have anybody coming over. Yeah, it's the middle of the week. Yeah, we can meet tonight if you wanted to.
Great. Excellent. Okay. So what I'm going to do is get some information together, and I've already got the info on your house. I'm going to plan on seeing you and your wife today at 5 o'clock. So guys, basically my point here is you have to create some urgency, and the urgency is real in this market. So don't let the coronavirus is done as far as I'm concerned. This is the time to buy or sell. Rates are at an all-time low. So I would set up the appointment, go over to their house and say, hey, we're going to sell your house as long as we can agree on a price and the terms. This house will sell. And I want to make sure you guys lock in a rate. Rates are lower than they've been potentially in, the last, 25 years. Literally, they're about as low as they're ever going to get. Why not lock that in right now? Talk to the lender. And I don't know what they give you, 60 days to lock it in or whatnot. Get it locked in so that way when your house sells, you guys are ready to buy something. And create some urgency, and get all over it, man. Get over there, get the listing on the market, and make sure that they're approved. So it's really important. 75% of all the business I've ever got, guys, has been from lead follow-up, whether it's a buyer, a seller, somebody is in my database that bought or sold 10 years ago. That is where a majority of the business comes from. So I would call every lead that you have. I'm sure everyone here has 200 people they either know that are a past client, or that they know personally, or have bought or sold a house, or are a lead off the internet, or whatever it is. If you take 2 weeks and call, what is that? 15 of those people a day, contact them over the next 2 weeks, you're going to get a couple of deals, either listings or buyers. And you have to create urgency. And if they're not urgently ready to do something in the next 30 days, move on. Move on. Tell them, listen, it's things are changing quickly. I want to make sure we get you, find the right house for you. It's a very competitive market, but working with me, I'll show you how we can stand apart if there's multiple offers on a good property, and get you that property you want. And then you can use a couple of methods there to make sure you get your offer accepted.
But Steve, how long is it going to take me to make 15 calls a day?
It's going to take you, if you talk to the people, it's going to take you an hour and a half. An hour to an hour and a half. Follow-up calls are usually pretty quick. Hopefully it takes you an hour and a half, because that means you set an appointment with somebody.
Bam.
So I would call all the potential buyers, and just, if they haven't already been pre-approved, make sure they get pre-approved, and then make sure you have them set up on the MLS with a search. Even if they're on KV Core searching, I would still set them up on the MLS, because that's you have a little more control over exactly what they like and don't like. It's a little easier to handle or manage. But yeah, the market's moving right now, guys. It's going to be good for the next, couple months at least, without a doubt. So if you want more business, follow up with everybody in your database, follow up with all your buyers and sellers, and see if you can set an appointment.
We have scripts for buyers right now, because it's a great time for buyers. So we got scripts here for that too.
Does anybody else have any questions about that, or any reservations at all, or anything else?
I got a question about trying to get an account on your site. I don't see a button for that.
Okay. Oh, because yeah. Okay. So if you're new to it, then I believe you need to click resources right here, the orange button. Sorry.
Resources and scripts.
Yeah, I believe you click that one, and I believe that will take you to
A sign up.
I'm pretty sure. It should
It
prompt
should
you.
take you to a thing that says put your information in, and then it'll go to Jesse to sign you up.
Okay, create your account. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
And if there's ever anything you guys need, like, you know, scripts or something you don't see on there, just reach out to us, shoot us an email. We probably have it. We're continuously updating this thing, but we have oodles of stuff that's not on there as well.
Yep. Yeah. Anything you guys need. If you need a follow-up email, what should I write from a follow-up email? Let me know. I got all kinds of great messages that I've used over the years that I save as templates. So.
All right, guys. And I'll leave you with one thing and say that it doesn't matter what business you've done or where you've been or, you know, how that looks. All that matters is today and moving forward. So if you've been struggling at all, we all do from time to time. To me, the most effective thing, the most important thing with this real estate business is setting up and following a consistent schedule on a daily basis. If you do that, you cannot fail. Failure cannot cope with persistence. So if you're continuously persistent with what you're doing and you follow through every day, even if it's an hour a day of prospecting, it's going to reap major rewards for you. I can't stress how important it is to be consistent about that. So if you're struggling, you're not where you want to be, sit down today in the afternoon, write down your goals for the next 6 months, create a plan to achieve those goals, and then start following it tomorrow. That's all I got.
Be the tortoise. And not the hare. Those are the millionaires, the people that just keep on plugging away, keep on doing it. There's a lot of people that they go up, they crash and burn. So let's do it.
Consistency, baby. All right. Anything else, guys? If not, we will end this call and see you guys next week. Have a great one.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys.
You guys.
Thanks, guys.
Damn.